Good morning, it's just got light and I'm just going to see the chickens. This is another Q&A video, so welcome to another one. I've got a few things I need to do today, so I'm planning to just take you around with me, grab Mauro when I can. He's actually working today, so I'll have to see if I can grab him at lunchtime and we'll answer some of your questions. Hey chickies! Okay, let's grab this. Sorry. So I've actually been fermenting some of the chicken food lately, so I'm doing a mix of fermented chicken feed and dry chicken feed, just because I haven't got that much fermented feed. It's just a test. Alright chickies, here we go. Okay, so the main thing that I have to do today is not the most interesting job, but it has to be done. It concerns this big pile of poo behind me. So we had some more manure delivered the other day, yesterday in fact, and I've got two piles of it. I've got this pile here and I've got another pile over in our drylands field, which is on the other side of the barranco. This pile needs to go because I need to get some logs in, and I actually want another pile of manure after this as well. This is going on trees, and then the next pile which will go here will be for composting, for using in the garden next year. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Let's do it. Okay, first question, what fruit trees do we have on our finca? Let me show you. What is our maximum and minimum temperatures here? So according to Google, our minimum is 2 degrees Celsius and our maximum is 32. But I couldn't find anything specific for our particular village, and we're also in a valley, so here we have a different microclimate. We experienced last year a low of about -1, probably in January, February, which produced a light kind of ground frost. And we probably saw temperatures of up to 38. Oh, here comes Mauro. I've got a question for you. Es una pregunta en español. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo funciona el internet?
¿Cómo funciona internet?
Aquí.
Desde los unos y los ceros, desde el principio.
No. Aquí.
¿A qué te refieres?
En la finca.
Nosotros tenemos tenemos internet satelital contratado con una empresa que se llama Eurona. La instalación fue gratis, pagamos 45 euros al mes y tenemos una velocidad de descarga de 30 megas o algo así.
50 en teoría.
50 en teoría, pero realísticamente de media son unos 30. Otras opciones que barajamos, un router 4G en el que le pones una SIM como tu teléfono y utilizas el 4G, que es viable, la velocidad está bastante bien, pero el problema es que con tormentas se suele caer. También
aquí al menos.
Aquí por lo menos, sí. También tenemos ahí la opción de internet por radio, que las velocidades, el precio es comparable a satelital, pero las velocidades son más bajas. Y luego también está la opción de Starlink, que también es satelital y la ventaja es más caro, pero la ventaja que tiene mejores velocidades y sobre todo tiene mejor latencia, que porque los satélites están más cerca a la Tierra.
¿Y tiene un satélite o un disco, un plato?
Sí,
más
y el plato,
pequeño.
si te molesta el tamaño del plato y la instalación, el plato te lo envían en una caja y lo montas tú.
¿Te alcanza para trabajar en remoto?
Sí, yo trabajo todo el día en llamadas de vídeo y descargo muchas cosas, entonces alcanza bien. No diría que es súper bueno porque en llamadas sí que se nota que hay un poquito por la latencia, se nota que hay como un segundo de retraso, entonces no es perfecto, pero funciona.
Una pregunta sobre las cabras. Si dan mucho trabajo para el beneficio que dan. Me encanta esta pregunta porque es algo que mucha gente nos pregunta. Yo creo que mucha gente piensa que las cabras son muy difíciles, dan mucho trabajo. A lo mejor si tienes 10, sí, pero 2 me dan muy poco trabajo. La única cosa que realmente es trabajo es traer las ramas, que no es trabajo porque tengo que cortar ramas de todas formas. Montar la valla, primero montamos una valla eléctrica. Ahora hemos trabajado bastante en un recinto nuevo con el establo de Cobb que habrás visto en otros vídeos, pero eso fue una elección nuestra, no era necesario, podríamos haber continuado con la valla eléctrica que funciona muy bien. Nunca se han escapado, pues a lo mejor una vez cuando yo dejé la puerta abierta, algo así, pero no nos dan problemas para nada. Tampoco nos dan muchos beneficios en este momento porque todavía no están produciendo leche. Justo ahora están arriba en el monte con el pastor y su rebaño de 200 cabras y con suerte volverán en unas semanas embarazadas, así que realmente no puedo hablar del beneficio de la leche, cómo es, si ordeñar es mucho trabajo porque todavía no lo sé, pero de momento todo bien, súper encantada con las cabras y muy contenta de haberlas adoptado. Should I do this bay tree or not? I feel like no. This set of questions were really nice actually because... Stop it! Shush! The first time we did these questions was like, we hadn't been on YouTube or social media for that long and we hadn't done many videos, and lots of the questions were kind of like getting to know you questions, like how did we get here, just basic stuff about us and the farm. And this set of questions are more like more stuff, more future stuff. It's clear that you're like following along with us on this journey and you've seen where we started and now you're kind of interested in where we're going and specific things about what's going on right now. So yeah, it's nice. There were quite a few questions about YouTube actually, so I'll answer those now while my waffle's warming. Oh Tofu, it's too cold for you out here. So what was my motivation for beginning, and have I grown organically? Well, I don't know if you've seen the first video, sorry if you have, but it's pretty bad. I didn't even speak to the camera at all. It was just a compilation of like clips and photos that I'd taken over the first 6 months that we were working on this project. I really just put it together as a fun creative project with the aim of sharing it with friends and family. I didn't have the confidence to speak into the camera. I never thought I would. So yeah, that was our first video. And I was just kind of surprised that it did well. Maybe everyone likes these compilation things, I guess so. But it did really well and there were lots of really lovely comments and I had actually really enjoyed putting it together. And yeah, just the whole process was really fun, so I thought I wanted to carry on with it and I tried to get a bit better at it and keep doing it. Has it grown organically? I like the pun. I don't know how it would, what's the alternative, like paying for subscribers? Like how would it not, I don't know. Yes, I guess so, I don't know. How do I find time to edit my videos on top of everything else? Yeah, to be honest, having the videos is a nice thing to do that keeps me kind of connected to the digital world. I used to use my laptop a lot, and I'm glad that I still have something slightly technical to do and a reason to kind of use my laptop a bit more. So in that sense, it's not a struggle to find the time. In the evenings, in the winter, we have a lot of hours indoors after dark, and it's really easy. In the summer, in the middle of the day, we have a long period, usually in the middle of the day, where I might go upstairs where it's cool and do some work. So it's really not hard to fit it into those times. As for the filming itself, yeah, it adds a bit of time onto some of the stuff that I do, but it doesn't really matter because it's kind of fun, and a lot of the stuff I do is like quite physical, and it's kind of good actually to have a bit of a break and a slower pace to slow it down a bit if I have to move the camera around or think about what I'm going to explain or whatever. So it's not really a problem. I just feel, yeah, really grateful that people are interested in what we're doing and you want to watch the videos. Did I know how to edit, or has it been a learn as you go process? I didn't know how to edit, really. I had done like some video editing for when I was putting a course together in the past, but that was more like screencasting, and it was really very basic. I still don't know how to edit. Every time I do a video, I try and learn like some new thing that I can add into it or just learn about. Who knows what I will learn this video. What camera and or editing software do I use? I'm currently using a Fujifilm X-T3. I'm looking at what it says on it right now. I use my phone occasionally for time lapses because the camera doesn't have that. I sometimes use the GoPro, but I don't really like the image quality on it, and I have to shoot in like a low quality sometimes because my computer struggles to process or even open any files that are in like the 4K quality. So no. Ooh. What editing software do I use? The editing software I use, again, like I did this until like a couple of months ago, I was using this screencasting software called ScreenFlow, which again was from an old job, and I had it, and it was really not designed for like videos, it was more for screencasts. But I managed alright with that until I decided to invest in Final Cut Pro 10. Which, to be honest, is a lot better. Do I start with a concept or just harvest pictures and process later? I love the analogy there, or the pun. Metaphor? Yeah, a bit of both, to be honest. I have like a list of ideas of videos that might kind of make sense topic-wise based on the stuff that's going on at the moment and what I want to be working on. Yeah, I have some like long-term plan videos that I sometimes get bits of footage for, and we'll have to put together sometime in the future when that project finally gets done. And then I have the more like weekly videos, which sometimes have a bit of a coherent theme, sometimes don't so much. I do my best, but it's hard sometimes. So yeah, a bit of both on that one. That's definitely the hardest thing. The first video I did after the compilation, I think it was about autumn arriving. No, it was about the first weeks on our farmstead. I think I made that video like 3 times and they were all completely different, and every time I watched them back I just cringed so much and I thought they were so bad, and I was about to give up, and then I was like, no, there's like footage here that I want to share, and yeah, I eventually put something together which I thought was kind of okay at the time. Now I hate it, but I guess that's just the way it goes. Oh, my waffle is like almost caving in. It got too hot, tofu. Okay, so the next terrace I'm going to do is this one along here. There's about 5 or 6 olive trees along here which I can pop some compost on, but I'm going to trim it first. Okay, so I've just finished the first tank of petrol on the strimmer. I've done a bit of the field down below as well, even though there aren't really any trees down there that I need to put manure on. I just got a bit carried away. I'm gonna do some more manure moving now. That is that terrace done. It's still pretty early, it's like 12, but I'm pretty tired. I think I'm gonna do something else for a little bit and then come back to this shoveling manure job. Hello Una, what are you doing? We've got some questions about our future plans and stuff like that, so let's go to the garden and I'll answer some of those. Hay una pregunta sobre si pensamos tener algún animal más, y esta también es una pregunta muy común. Pues la respuesta es sí, me imagino que sí. Estoy intentando podar esta guindilla y es la primera vez que lo hago, así que no sé si lo estoy haciendo bien. Me está costando un poco hablar y hacer esto al mismo tiempo. Esto es para que pueda, o espero que sobreviva el invierno en una maceta cerca de la casa o incluso dentro del invernadero cuando lo tengamos. Estoy intentando darle la forma de un arbusto, pero lo que pasa es que no me está costando porque no tiene esa forma. Vale, voy a cortar aquí. Lo siento. Más animales, pues sí. La realidad es que a mí me gustaría tener patos, no sé por qué, pero tengo esta idea en mente que los patos corredizas, esos que tienen el cuello muy largo y corren, me gustaría tenerlos. Y también, a lo mejor, un animal de carga. Me gustaría mucho probar a no depender de la carretilla tanto como has visto en este vídeo para desplazar cosas por aquí, por la finca. No queremos tener un tractor, así que a lo mejor una mula o un burro no sería muy bien. Así que estamos esperando a ver si la vida quiere traernos un burro o una mula. Siempre hay animales por aquí buscando hogares que necesitan ayuda, así que si algo aparece estaríamos interesados. Pero primero patos. Are we still planning to milk the goats? Yes! I think I mentioned earlier, but they are right now up on the hill, hopefully getting pregnant. So yeah, when that happens, it'll be 5 months gestation period, so we're looking at spring next year. So if everything goes well, then yes, we are. A couple of questions about our future plans. Again, this is quite a common, popular question. What are we thinking about doing as a project here, apart from just living, I guess, which is a project in itself. See, how can I make this one into the shape of a bush? I'm just gonna cut it here. Just realised on this one I should have cut all the straggly leaves off. I was just distracted. I'm gonna leave like a few tiny little like fresh leaves on, just so that I know that it's like still alive. Otherwise it's kind of hard to tell. You think you might have killed it. But if the little leaves are looking good, then it's still going strong. Yeah, are we still planning to have like, do we still want to have a market garden? Are we still planning to do something with the ruin? Well, I'll talk about that later. Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. A market garden of some sort, or like a small veg box scheme is definitely something I'm still really interested in. I think it's almost like it almost feels like we should, because we have the space and the water and it's kind of what it was used for before, and we're so lucky here to have like this big flat field, to have the water, to have more than we need for ourselves. It would just be, I think, really nice to bring it back to how it was before, but it's a long journey to get there. Like, there's so much to learn, which I knew was going to be the case, but more and more I'm realizing that the learning journey is like the fun, interesting thing. So I'm not really in a rush to try and push to produce any more than we need, or to like be really methodical about it, or to have everything like super organized and actually like go for it, and try, you know, producing 50 lettuces a week or whatever. because I'm just enjoying what we're doing right now, and honestly I'm not good enough at gardening or growing yet to be at that stage, and I just want to enjoy the process of learning and slowly expanding and trying things. So that's where I'm at right now. I will probably do a video soon on what's going on in the garden, because I know it's been a little while and we haven't updated you. I feel like the garden's pretty boring at the moment, but it's definitely different to last time you saw it, so I should probably update you on that. So yeah, at the moment, sorry, it's hard to answer that question. I don't know. And then there were a few questions about the ruin, whether we envisage developing the ruin, whether our heart is set on that, whether we want to stay in the cottage long term, whether we want to stay here long term, to which the answer is 100% yes. Are we going to do much more renovation on the little stone house? When it comes to the little stone house, we're really happy there. It gets more comfortable kind of week by week as we make little improvements. It's definitely a lot better than last year, although it still has its challenges. We're not doing major renovation work on it, so you will have seen that it's got the old roof on, which we're just trying to patch up. A lot of people would have taken that off and put a new one on. The doors and the floors we would like to change. Also, like making better use of the space, building in more storage, making Melrose a bit of a more enclosed office area, which we mentioned in our previous video. So there's stuff that we want to do to it, but we're not gonna make it like a conventional house. We're not gonna put in a septic tank, we're not gonna dig up the floors for that, it's not gonna have an indoor bathroom, it's not gonna have plumbing inside. We just don't see the need for that. We haven't had it so far, and it's fine. The one thing that we are gonna make a big effort on is the kitchen, because our outdoor kitchen doesn't yet have plumbing, but it would be pretty simple to bring it in. We want to enclose it all because it's pretty cold in winter, and yeah, you know, flies and animals and stuff getting in, just it would be better if it was closed in. I really want to make the kitchen like really nice, not super fancy, just attractive, and like just with the things that I want, really convenient spaces and storage, and just really functional and useful. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a really big project, but I'm very excited about doing it. So that's probably the main #1 thing that we're looking at doing with the house. As for the ruin, well, we have talked about this before, that we're not 100% sure what we're going to do with it. Our like 5-year goal, I guess, would just be to have the new stuff that's fallen down removed, properly demolished, and be starting with like a blank slate, just leaving like the original stonework so that it still counts as a renovation. That's already a big enough job as well, and is going to cost lots of money. If we can just get to that point within like 5 years, I think that would be pretty cool. I think maybe within 5 years we'll have more of an idea of what we're doing in general here, and what kind of a building might be useful, whether a house is actually what we need after all, and this could become like a guest lodge or something, or whether we're just happy to carry on here and build more like a workshop type space for doing things, or if we were interested in doing a particular business and we needed the space to do that, then maybe something like that. I don't know, there's lots of ideas, but I think we'll be more sure about that in 5 years time. Just remembered that we still have a couple more chili plants over here that are still producing, so I'm going to dig these up as well and bring them into pots to overwinter them. What are our goals for next year? This reminds me that I actually need to do a video about this, because we did one at the end of last year, and I would love to update you on how we are doing with all the goals that we set for 2022. I think we might have actually done them all. I need to check what they were, but the other day I was thinking about them, and I think I did like the final thing that was a thing that ticked off one of the goals. So I will tell you about that soon. I haven't even thought about our goals for next year that much. The only thing that's in my head is ducks, so we'll see. So we've had some questions about money and work. So here he is, the money maker, the worker.
Yeah, this is my lunch break, if you can't tell.
How much money do we spend in a month, roughly?
Yeah, it's like we don't like we can talk about like where do our costs come from. Like obviously we don't pay rent, we don't pay electricity bills, we don't pay water bills, or we do spend money on some gas bottles and firewood. That's sort of our fuel needs. And then I would say our main expenses are food and fuel for the car, which are normal, like the normal amount that people spend, maybe a bit less because we don't buy a lot of vegetables, so we don't spend money on that. And and then the rest we spend in the tools and materials that we need for whatever we're doing that month. So some months we are just working with pallets and it's really cheap, and some months we need like really good stuff, or we need a particularly expensive tool. So I don't know, like around €1,000 a month.
We could spend a lot more for sure, but you see the kind of stuff that we're doing here. We're not doing like a major renovation, we're not buying tons of materials, we're not paying for outside labour, so all of that keeps things quite low. But I can see how you could very easily like spend a lot more. I'm always surprised how you go to the hardware store and we end up spending tofu! We end up spending like 300 or 400 euros, and you just feel like you haven't even bought that much, and the costs really do add up. So there was a question in Spanish about how do we manage with the costs of the materials and the tools, and it is something to bear in mind, I think. There's the question that I asked you this morning while you were having breakfast. That was from this section, so I can put that in now. Mau, ¿es suficiente el sueldo de un software developer para vivir aquí y hacer todo esto?
Sí. La respuesta corta es sí. Para vivir, es decir, para subsistir, de comprar comida, alcanza y sobra. Lo que hay que también tener en cuenta es nuestro estilo de vida, nuestros gastos, nuestros costes de hacer cosas y en qué dedicamos nuestro tiempo. O sea, como puedes ver en nuestros vídeos, nosotros no salimos a restaurantes, no salimos por ahí, no nos vamos de vacaciones. Entonces, todo lo que nosotros ganamos lo invertimos en ahorrar dinero o en comprar materiales para hacer cosas aquí. Por lo tanto, es una pregunta difícil de responder para cualquier salario. Creo que va mucho más asociado y tiene mucho más que ver con nuestro estilo de vida que con el salario en sí.
Ahora puedes desayunar.
Gracias.
Do we have other earnings apart from YouTube? I should have put that question first. Yeah, obviously Mauro is working as a software developer. That's our main income. I like that. No, it's a good question.
It's not a good sign when she starts laughing.
It's just a funny question. I like how it's worded. Why did I give up on English literature and switch to software development? And did I study? How did I do that? I like this question because I wouldn't say I gave up on English literature. I mean, I still read a lot of books, and I mean, I wouldn't say I've given up on it.
As an interest.
I didn't give up on it as an interest, and I didn't like stop my studies, but I did previously work in libraries, and I did give up on that career path, I guess. Working in libraries is really nice. I worked in school libraries and in the public library service for about 4 years in total. But it was just not a very dynamic, exciting. Oh, I don't. Libraries are great. Like, I loved working there, but I was like in my early 20s and I wanted to see an exciting career ahead of me and know that there would be fun options and things to do, and libraries are unfortunately just kind of dying a bit of a death and are very challenging places to work. There's a lot of funding cuts, there's a lot of experienced librarians being replaced by volunteers. It's just a bit of a sad place to work, which doesn't always feel like it has a lot of future in it, as lovely as it is to work in a library. So coding was kind of a hobby, and I went to a 3-month coding boot camp to learn how to actually write professional software, which is where I met Mauro, and we later ended up teaching there. So that's how I did that change and why it came about. Okay, this is another one for me. I don't know if this person's trying to give me a mental breakdown. How do I feel about my lack of a job? Do I worry about taking a gap or getting back to work? No, it's a good question, and a serious one as well. It's not so easy to just take a break and like give up a good job and say, well, maybe I'll go back, maybe I won't. Like, we all know that career breaks can look bad and it can be really hard to get back. Actually, I used to work for a organisation that helped people get back into tech after taking career breaks. It was called Tech Returners. So I literally worked with people who were in that position. And it's funny because I kind of thought at the time, like I saw the struggles people had, and there are these organisations that obviously help and stuff, but I saw the problems that people had getting back into tech, like skilled people who had taken career breaks for whatever reason and were struggling to get back into it. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to be really careful if I ever take a career break, like, because I didn't realise that even though those skills are so in demand, like career breaks can be so looked down upon and kind of mistrusted, no matter what you're doing. So yeah, I used to worry about it, and then I ended up doing it. So here we are.
Yeah, I like to think that if everything goes well, you won't need to go back to your job unless you really want to. But in terms of like actually needing to go back to your work, we're working so that you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I enjoyed that job, and I never thought that job that I just left would be my last job in tech, so I wasn't really ready for that. If I had known that, I would maybe have not left it. But now we're kind of at the point here with everything that's going on that it really feels impossible for two people to be working full time. Like I couldn't work at the same time as you right now, right? Like we just wouldn't get anything done.
Well, you like people see this, but or maybe they don't. But like what you see on videos is a full-time job. Like you are doing all the work that needs to be done on the farm, recording videos and editing them. That is, you're working on that more than 40 hours a week. So you can't have two 40-hour a week jobs in a week. So it's just not sustainable. It's not physically. There's not enough hours in the day technically.
We could, but everything would come to a standstill. It would be like when I was here working full time, and I had like the tiniest sliver of time to work on anything.
But it just makes no sense because it's like we're here so to
I'm not
stop
saying
doing
I'm not saying I want to go back or anything right now, but like I just couldn't, even if I wanted to right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it would be I don't know, a bit of a shame to both of us be here and both be inside working on computers. It's like, well, stay in the office, I guess, if we're gonna do that. What's going on there? Chicken fight.
Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with the strimming. I would have liked to have finished the second tank. I always like to leave the strimmer empty if possible. Don't know when I'm going to be using it again, but kind of running out of time now, and I've got some other stuff I need to do today. I need to shower, I need to take the dogs on a walk. I need to do some yoga because my back wants me to do that. Before I go, I did just want to say as well, there were a few questions around specific stuff about like our solar setup, the internet, which we kind of answered earlier this morning. But yeah, like more specific things about how certain parts of our system work. So I haven't answered those questions here because I'm planning to do a dedicated video about all of our like off-grid systems as they are at the moment, and what we might be planning to do to improve them or change them slightly. So that's coming. I don't know when it'll be, but it'll be soon. If you've got any like really pressing questions, you can email me, I guess, or send me a message on Instagram or comment on here. I do read all the comments and I reply to most of them, so that's also an option. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be a more normal weekly update. Una, don't eat all this. She was sick last night because she ate some poo. Una, you know you don't like that. It's gonna make you sick. Una! Oh. Una! Una! Stop chewing in the background. Oh, the night's fine. Sorry, the chickens are in the garden. Una! Go and get the chickens. Come on, out of there. Chop, chop, chop. Out of there. Out of there. Out of there. Ooh. Many months in the future. Again! Get out of there! Una, go on, get them! Try, I think... Oi! Can you not... Oi! Oh! Can you stop hitting the camera with the stick? Stop it! Give me that stick! Give me that stick! Una, what have you got there? What is this doing here? What is this doing here? What have you got? What's that? What's this? An egg? An egg? Where'd you get an egg? Where'd you get this? Una!